name is Courtney and welcome to my channel. As you may have noticed, we're already zoomed in, ready to get down to it, simply because I have recorded this video 5 times and it's either been a quality issue, a sound issue, like some sort of mistakes were made along the way. If for any reason this video has weird sound, weird anything, we're gonna keep it moving. Like, I can't keep pushing back my schedule like I have been because this video doesn't want to act right. And as you guys may notice from the title, we are comparing the new Nars Light Reflecting foundation that has my greasy fingerprints on it with one of my oldie but goodies. This is a Nars Natural Radiant foundation. I typically have dry skin. As you can see today, my skin's a little bit juicier. Allow me to explain. I have suffered breakouts lately from just hair products, not from any of the foundations that I've been trying, but from hair products. I have a little bit of a sunburn on my scalp and around like my edge area, so my skin is peeling a little bit in those areas. So today is gonna be a doozy. So we do have a little bit of texture, we have a little bit of discoloration, and so essentially we're gonna see these two foundations head to head, but we're also gonna see what I can do to my face so that it doesn't look so crazy. So for the Nars Light Reflecting foundation, this one's gonna be $49 for your average 1 ounce. It does come with the pump, yay Nars. It does come in 36 shades. I got the shade Cadiz. This Cadiz is slightly off, it's a little bit lighter. I do have to balance out the color a little bit more. But if I would have gone with Caracas, which I guess I could have, I believe that that one's a little bit more peachy, a little bit more almost leaning neutral. This foundation is supposed to be more of a medium coverage. I believe it's supposed to be buildable. Why don't we look it up? Let me get my phone. It is an advanced makeup skincare hybrid foundation with hybrid. Did I say bread? An advanced makeup skincare hybrid foundation with a natural finish that quickly blurs and smooths, not a lisp, while visibly improving skin clarity over time. Jeez, what's going on with me today? As I said, it is more of a medium coverage. It does have biomimetic oak, which visibly improves clarity by reducing appearance of redness. Japanese lily turf supports a strong skin barrier. Cacao peptides and milk thistle minimize the negative effect of blue light and environmental stressors. I do enjoy that a lot of brands are coming out with foundations that are a little bit more skin loving. It's just nice to have something that kind of lends to the health of your skin. Now, the first time that I did try this foundation, my skin was super shiny, which I don't know that I necessarily want juicy skin today, only because, again, I don't want to necessarily accentuate the problem areas that I have going on right now, but I also don't want it matte, because if I make my dry skin matte, it'll just emphasize it as well. So we're going for a nice balance, and because of that, we're going to be using the Fenty Pro Filter Instant Retouch primer. This one for me has the moisturizing effects with the blurring, but not necessarily mattifying, so I do enjoy this primer for that. And I'm also going for that smoothing property, especially around this area with like the texture bumps and everything we got going on. It's a lot. I'm gonna give that a minute to settle in, and in the meantime we'll talk about the Natural Radiant foundation. Now this one is also $49 for 1 ounce. This one comes in 34 shades. I got the shade Cadiz and this one as well. I did notice there is a slight difference in color. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's within the same color like wheelhouse. This one to me is a little bit more peachy. This one's a little bit more yellow. They do blend pretty evenly. I have, like I said, done this video several times and you can't really tell the difference. I do like this Cadiz a lot better just because it does have almost like more of a yellow tone, which matches my skin a little bit better. Both of them are a little bit light for now, just because I have been out in the sun, hence the sunburn on my scalp. Now, as far as the Natural Radiant foundation, it is a buildable, full coverage foundation with up to 16 hours of lightweight, natural, fade resistant wear. I've tried this one several times, and as I said, it is one of my favorite foundations. It is a little bit more full coverage than the Light Reflecting. I do feel like you can build up the Light Reflecting just a little bit. I don't know how much you want to build it up, just because it does get a little shiny, a little glassy, and I don't ever love glassy skin. I love juicy skin, but I don't like the super shiny weirdness that I got the first time I wore the Light Reflecting. Anyway, so for the Natural Radiant, it does have a blend of fruit extracts, which helps support skin elastic fibers to smooth the look of skin's texture over time. So this one also has some good ingredients in it as well. Let's go ahead and go into the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, and that's what it looks like. Y'all excuse my ashy hands. Again, I've been going through breakout after breakout. Now, this foundation does give really short pumps, so I have had to do more pumps than the Natural Radiant just because it does have that really short, doesn't disperse a lot of product. So I'm actually gonna go in with 3 pumps, and as you can see, it's a little bit, not super runny, but it's watery. I'm gonna go in on this side and we're gonna be using a sponge, the good old trusty tried and true beauty blender. And as you can see, it's already very skin-like. Like I said, a little bit lighter for my skin tone than I would usually go for, but that's okay. All right, so no foundation. And with the Light Reflecting, super juicy skin. But it does give a really nice coverage. I actually think this is a little bit more medium buildable, like I said. It does feel decent. It is one of those foundations, again, the more you build, the more you're gonna feel it, especially with the ones that are a little bit more dewy. You're gonna feel that foundation, especially in the heat, which luckily we're staying inside today. Now we're gonna go in on this side with the Natural Radiant. Now this one is slightly running out, so I'm like on my last little pumpage with it. I gotta get a new one, but this one is a little bit more thick. Again, it is more of a full coverage, so a lot of times full coverage foundations do, for the most part, I won't say always, do feel a little bit thicker. Alright, we have Natural Radiant side and Light Reflecting side. And I feel like you can tell this side is a little bit more pinky peach. This side has a little bit more of a gold tone. It is the slightest difference, but I can just tell. And also to me, the Light Reflecting side does hold its shine a little bit more than the Natural Radiant, which I don't mind. The more you build any foundation, the more you're gonna feel it. But for dewier foundations like the Light Reflecting, I do feel this side more than I feel the Natural Radiant. But overall, I feel like my skin looks healthy. Now, if we're talking about sort of the cleanup of the texture on this side, I don't know if you guys can see that. I do feel like on the Natural Radiant side, you can see it a little bit more than you can with the Light Reflecting side. I think I'm gonna do more of a cream-based look today and then go over everything with powder. So this is the look that we are going to be rocking today. If you are curious about any of the makeup that's on my face, per usual, it's going to be in the description box. So far, everything looks really good, feels really good. I did end up using like the Micro Smooth powder to make sure everything was smooth. As far as my texture, you can still see it a little bit, but it's not as bad as it was, especially close up. You can see it. I feel like from afar it's not the worst, and I think working with the creams today and then kind of smoothing it over with powder probably helped all of that. But we are like a semi-satiny kind of matte right now, just to give these foundations a little bit more longevity. Like I said, we're not going to be going out in the elements, but if I was, this would be a makeup look I'd be comfortable going out in the heat in. And then it also helps whenever you have a mask to kind of lightly powder the face anyway. So right now it is 3:37. We got a late start today, which I'm completely fine with. I'm basically recording all day, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get an 8-hour wear test for these two foundations. In the meantime, I did want to talk to you guys about one of the other times that I did do an 8-hour test. That time we started at 1 o'clock and ended at about 9:50, something like that. And as you can see, for the start of the day, it's a nice medium coverage, very skin-like. Even canvas, just like it was today. Not super duper heavy unless you do want to build it up. At the end of the day, though, we did have a little bit of a faded contour. The blush and the highlight was still there. It definitely got shinier, which you can expect with these kind of foundations where it is a little bit more shine and dew. It did accentuate my pores and my texture, and it did feel slightly actually tacky, actually sticky, actually icky. And I had a little bit of creasing in the smile lines, not too crazy. I did use the Huda Beauty powder to blot, and it mattified it slightly, but it's still like a little sheeny. But it wasn't the worst like look at the end of the day that I've ever had. So that's a plus. Now, as far as the Natural Radiant goes, I used a light layer, but I did want to kind of compare it at that medium level since the Light Reflecting is more of a medium coverage. Again, you have that skin-like glow. I do feel like with the Natural Radiant foundation, my skin does ultimately look better. Now for this one, I wore it from about 4 o'clock to about 11. So it's more like a 7-hour wear test. Less creasing for sure with the Natural Radiant. And now at the end of the day, like I said, it was a little less shiny, but you did see my pores coming through slightly as well. And I didn't have any like creasing sinkage in the line. However, with the oils peeking through, you still have like that transferability. And after we did the same kind of blotting technique, the pores were still visible. It did mattify more than the Light Reflecting foundation. However, like I said, the pores were still there. You could still see it. The thing about these two foundations, they are very different. Like I said, the Light Reflecting foundation is a little bit more off top, glowy, shiny. And if I'm being completely honest, the Natural Radiant side does feel better. Not that the Light Reflecting side is like heavy or anything, but if we're comparing the two, which we're doing, this Natural Radiant side does feel better. All right, so close up. Okay, you can see a little bit of the texture. Right, and you can definitely see it on both sides, and I do think on the Natural Radiant side is a little bit more accentuated. I think it smoothed itself out on this side with all of the products, and you can see the smile lines coming through a little bit better here, not so much here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. I will see you within 6 to 8 hours. All right, guys, I am back, and this is what my face is looking like. Is now 10:39. We're just short of an hour left to go. However, your girl is tired. Today's been a day. I did record several videos. I'm gonna try to edit those tomorrow and get those out as soon as possible. Sorry my energy's not up. I'm in my PJs. I'm ready to shut it down. As far as the claims go, both of these foundations are really good at what they claim to be. And if I'm being completely honest, guys, neither one of these sides look bad. Like, especially for a 7-hour mark. A little touch up around the nose area, a little touch up right here, like around the brows, and we're good to go. Up close on the Light Reflecting side, I do see a little bit of pores coming through right here. I see it coming through on the Natural Radiant side as well, but it's a little bit more noticeable here than it is on the Natural Radiant side. All it would take on both of these is a little dab of maybe some powder or something. Even just blotting with a paper towel, I feel like both of these sides is still doable. The actual texture is starting to come through a lot more right here. The Natural Radiant side didn't get too much worse. You can still see the same texture that you could see before, which my hair covers it. I'm not tripping too bad, and I think from a distance everything looks, like I said, really, really good. I think when it comes to the sunburn situation, the Natural Radiant side looks a little bit better than the Light Reflecting side. Both sides have been like equally as painful and equally as peeling, but The Natural Radiant side does look a little calmer. I think the biggest difference with the two would be if you're not gonna set it, right? If you have dry skin and you want to go without setting, I would definitely go with the Natural Radiant. I feel like this one isn't too dewy, isn't too shiny. It gives the right amount of glow. It is still skin loving and it still hugs the skin really nicely. It is a little bit more full coverage, but I just feel like this one is a little bit more doable, especially with the weather that we've been having lately, without a powder. Like if you're gonna go without setting, you want that dewy look, I feel like the Natural Radiant is for that. Whereas the Light Reflecting is so shiny that if you do go without setting it, your face is gonna get a little bit stickier, a little bit tackier, especially with all of the sweat and the heat that's happening. And in a few circumstances that I have worn the Light Reflecting foundation, it does come off on the mask a little bit. Again, that's without setting. Both of them I think have a pretty good longevity, but again, you're gonna have to take those steps to powder the entire face, you know what I mean? Once you do that, I think both of these foundations do perform at an equal level. I know that at one point they were saying the Light Reflecting foundation was supposed to replace the Natural Radiant, which I'm hoping isn't true because I'm 10 times more likely to get this one. Again, I can wear this without setting it. I'm actually gonna probably stock up on the Natural Radiant just in case they are gonna discontinue it for the Light Reflecting. And as far as the Light Reflecting foundations, I'm probably not gonna get this one again, but I am gonna use the one I have. It's not a bad foundation. I think if you're somebody who really does like that glossy, glassy skin look, which I know is popular among the TikTokers, but for me, I just like, I don't know, a little bit more of an everyday natural glow. Not really sticky, not really dewy. It is time for my bedtime, is what it is. Alright guys, that about does it for me. Hopefully this video was fun, entertaining, helpful, all that great stuff. If it was, please give me a thumbs up. I don't remember my outro. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video if the mood so suits your spirit, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Thank you.